Welcome back to the Gaining Ground. Before I begin this video, just a reminder, if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please do so by clicking on the subscribe button down below. Here we go again. More tweets claiming I'm a racist who spends my days gaslighting black people on the internet. And there's Michael B. Petty in On-Program Situation, liking these defamatory tweets, pretty much promoting them, and helping to push this BS narrative. I know, I am just as shocked as you all are. But this video isn't about the two of them. It's about these two women, Charlie Gold and Life of a Free Spirit, also known as Callie. Their Twitter fans like to constantly tweet, like, and retweet defamatory nonsense about me, hoping to convince people that the only reason I have an issue with these two is because they're black women. It's a narrative they've been trying to sell to anyone who will listen. They keep trying to sell this story that Charlie and Callie are just innocent victims who have done nothing wrong, and that me, Negs, John's Peanut Gallery, our subs, etc. are all just sinister racists. There's a lot of problematic behavior we could cover when it comes to Charlie, Callie, and their Twitter fans. See my other video about On-Program Situation. But in this video, I'm going to lay out my specific issues with just these two women. Their biggest sycophants on Twitter like to push horrific lies about me, so this will serve as my response to their disgusting accusations. Be warned, this video will include the timeline surrounding my dox in June of 2020 and the role these two women publicly played in it. I know, a lot of folks are tired of hearing about it, but I've never sat down and organized my thoughts on the subject. After more tweets depicting me as a racist, I've decided it was time to revisit it in a much more organized way as opposed to how I used to handle things. Like a spaz. You're about to see tweets, dates, timestamps, and video clips, and when it's over, you can make your own decision. I was roasted for a prior video where I left screenshots up for way too long, because I'm a goober, so please pause to fully read anything that isn't up long enough to read. Let's begin. On May 4th, 2020, I left a comment on a Kate Winslet video called Tough Crazy Love. For those of you who have never heard of the Kate Winslet channel, I'll link it down below in the description, and you can go check it out and formulate your own opinions. Anyway, this is the comment I left on the video. In the video, Callie seemed very upset and was defending Charlie against someone. I don't remember who, but it was most likely Foodie Beauty or Amberlynn Reed. Feel free to go check out the video after this is over. I thought this was a harmless comment, but I was apparently wrong. On May 5th, the next day, I was tagged in a tweet shown here. Callie then continued with a second tweet. I had never interacted with her before that day and had never watched one of her videos all the way through. I was confused to see my comment being screenshot and blasted on Twitter, and I definitely didn't understand what race had to do with it. It was quite the reach. But then again, I didn't know much about Haydur Nation at the time, and now looking back, it all makes sense. These tweets and others put a very bad taste in my mouth, and I decided I wanted to make sure it was clear to everyone that I was not a member of the so-called Haydur Nation, and I wanted no part in whatever it was they were doing. So I released a video called Life, Foodie Beauty, and a Taco Bell Mukbang, where I addressed Callie, humorously, I thought, and I moved on. It was pretty clear that a woman I'd never interacted with hated me just for leaving a comment on a YouTube video. But again, knowing what I know now, it all makes sense. I'm going to skip over the hate march and skip over Twittergate 2020, but I do want to remind everyone that on May 27th, when I went live about Charlie, I had been threatened with my middle name via a new Twitter account that was deactivated shortly after, and right before I went live that night, someone threatened me with my personal Instagram account handle over and over, scrolled in the chat. Sorry for the change in microphone quality. I decided to add stuff post-editing, and it's just easier doing it with the microphone feeding directly into my editing program. You'll see this change in quality a few times throughout the video, and I hope it's not too distracting. Anyway, I've decided to make this video public again. It's titled Self-Reflection, and it was originally uploaded to my channel on June 15th, 2020. I am doing this because I'm anticipating the usual suspects digging up old tweets, and I am no longer going to address anything that happened so long ago. This video addresses those events, and after all this time, I still regret my behavior today just as much as I did then. I'll be leaving this video up on my channel, and will be pointing anyone who wants to rehash those things I've already addressed to this video. Let's skip ahead to Friday, June 12th, 2020. Callie had been on a tear on YouTube and Twitter, making defamatory claims about me being the leader of a racist plot to take down black YouTubers. The basis of her accusations revolved around who I associated with on YouTube. I've learned something about Haydur Nation. Anyone you interact with on Twitter or YouTube is your friend. It's the strangest thing I've ever seen, but it's how they do things. Someone likes your tweet, that's it, they're your friend. You comment on a YouTube video, that's it, they're your friend, and you're a racist. Anyway, during one of her lives, someone in the chat asked her about her support of Louis Farrakhan, who has said some very anti-Semitic and homophobic things in the past, and asked why she'd call him an activist in a previous live. If you don't know who Louis Farrakhan is, Google him. Anyway, she denied ever calling him an activist, so I decided to go digging. I watched the video, and, well, here's the clip.
There are black racists. I hate to say it to you guys, but there are
Louis Farrakhan? Louis Farrakhan is probably one of the biggest racists out there.
Yeah, he's dangerous.
You really gonna talk about Farrakhan, who was a fucking activist?
Jesse Jackson, also.
I posted this clip to my old Twitter account the evening of June 12th, calling her out in order to make a point. The next day, June 13th, Callie came to Twitter and she wasn't very happy. She made 2 tweets about Louis Farrakhan. Calling her out about that video apparently triggered her, so she also dropped this tweet containing a clip of a video from a Periscope account I'd forgotten all about. A Periscope account that had nothing to do with my channel, The Gaining Ground. She was calling me out for speaking in an accent and claims I have a history of doing so. It's one instance, Callie. Unless you count all the times I've impersonated my dad, but I don't think you can count those. That's not a history. It was very clear to me and others that she was trying to paint this out to be a racist or bigoted action. Meanwhile, take a look at this clip from Callie's video called Reacting to Nikocato's OnlyFans from August 23rd, 2020.
Oh, people are like into it. They're like, oh, I need you. Oh, I want you. Oh, I love you. Oh, I'm here for you.
Make your own decision on what you just heard. But to me, it sounds like she's imitating an accent a little over 2 months after pretending to be outraged over me doing the same. Let me know what you think down below. Anyway, note the date and time of this tweet. June 13th, 2020, 9:53 a.m. 2.5 weeks after I said on my live that I suspected Charlie and company had my docs, this tweet proved I was right. Callie, and later Charlie, would tell everyone that my Periscope account was a public account. However, searching The Gaining Ground would not have led you to those videos, but we'll adjust that a little bit later in this video. When the tweet was made, I asked Callie how she could possibly have that clip having nothing to do with The Gaining Ground. If she had that clip, she had the videos. Sure, people knew my name was Cliff, but go search Cliff on Periscope and let me know how that goes. She of course stopped replying, and out came the usual suspects who made it very clear that Callie wasn't the only one who had my personal information. They alerted me that a lot of them had known my name for months, thanks to my Instagram. Turns out I had posted an email receipt for protein powder on Instagram and did a piss poor job of covering my name. Amazing how for months no one knew it was there. No one cared. No one ever dropped any Periscope videos of mine, etc. Until I criticized Charlie and her community. Along with alerting me that many people had known my true identity for months, I was also blamed for my dox, even though I hadn't formally been publicly doxed yet. This tweet is shortly after 10 a.m. My dox appeared on Kiwi Farm shortly after 5 p.m. that same day. Sure, I was careless and wasn't paying attention when I scratched my name out. But since when is that an invitation to go digging into someone's personal life? A few hours later, my employer was tweeted at. And a few hours after that, my full dox was on Kiwi Farms. Look at the timestamp of that Kiwi Farms post. Over 7 hours after Callie tweeted my clip. Now, I take full responsibility for being stupid enough to put that email out on Twitter. I technically doxed myself publicly. They're right. I was baited and it worked. They kept saying, can't you see it? We can see it. Why can't you see it? It's right on your Instagram. They even sent the screenshot to other people to prove it was there, but wouldn't send it to me or point me to it. They told me to find it myself. One of my subs caught wind of what they were talking about and pointed me to the screenshot, which I then posted to Twitter to make a point. The point was that my name wasn't just sitting there. People had to dig for it and exploit my mistake. And they did. There was a channel called Who Is She who once accidentally showed her face on cam and someone shared her mistake on Twitter. She was anonymous up to that point. Although, in my mind, she still is. It was just a face. Anyway, some reaction channels lost it when her photo was shared on Twitter. They lost it over sharing a face. Just a face. No identifying information. But their community going on a mining expedition with a poorly scratched out name? Oh wait, Who Is She is on their side. I, however, had the balls to criticize their community. So of course it was different. This is when Charlie likes to tweet that she's been waiting since May for me to prove anything. Well, if the above timestamp showing members of her community admitting to exploiting my mistake and sitting on my personal information before it went public wasn't enough, let's talk about Charlie's June 20th, 2020 video called Addressing Some Haydur Drama. As you can see by the ratio, it was poorly received. After everything people had seen at this point, they seemed to be getting sick of Charlie trying to pin her broken promises, her failures, and her behavior on her own channel on me, calling me a snake over and over and over again and telling her audience what I had already told them weeks ago didn't work. They were looking for a different message. They didn't get it. From June 13th up until June 20th, Callie had been taking the heat for tweeting that clip, and she claims she got a very racist DM shortly after and she needed a break from Twitter, so she left the platform. All the while, Charlie stayed silent. In the June 20th video, Charlie finally decided to clear things up about Callie's involvement in tweeting that clip. Take a look.
But let's focus on another lie that he decided to tell on his platform. Callie had tweeted out a screen grab from his public Periscope account. It's a social media account. It is public. I viewed it myself. He tried to connect that video to his docs that was later tweeted out. If you're going to accuse Callie or myself with being involved with their docs, you need to show proof.
Charlie Gold is admitting that she had those videos for days prior to that, and she's the one who handed them over to Callie. And this is now the part where Charlie will say it was a public social media account. I've since removed my Periscope, but this was the username it was under. TPA Guy 80. Tampa Guy 80. Yeah, I know, so creative. The Gaining Ground. TPA Guy 80. Those two are not even close. The only way they would have been able to find TPA Guy 80 would have been to know my legal name. It appears that they were sitting on my personal information just waiting to use it against me if they could. I called it on May 27th. I knew her and her circle had it, but I couldn't prove it. But she admits in this video that she knew who I was, and she knew for some time, and she passed my info to at least one other person, Callie. Why would she have done that? Well, in another clip from the same video, Charlie explains what it is they were planning to do.
Not only did I not dox you or get involved in doxing you, neither did Callie. If you are sticking to the video clip that she tweeted out, trying to say that must be the reason you got doxed later on, that's incorrect. I'm the one who gave her that clip because I know she'd be working on a video. I gave her that clip. I had that clip for a couple of days before I shared it. It's a public social media account. And unlike you, who tweeted out, don't engage, document, I took that advice. I started documenting. That was not a dox. That's not even part of your dox. That was on a social media platform.
So let me get this straight. Not only did they exploit a mistake I made and violated my privacy, they were going to ambush me with a video. Could you imagine if before Charlie had been doxxed, I made a video dropping her mugshot before anyone knew it existed? I still to this day believe that Callie went rogue. I don't think she was supposed to drop that clip on Twitter, but she got mad and acted impulsively. My theory is that the full Periscope videos were going to appear on a random YouTube channel. They were going to play stupid and just stumble upon them, and then they would have been an OMG, look at the Gaining Ground using an accent video bombshell. Again, just a theory. After Callie dropped the clip, they did actually appear on a random YouTube channel, a channel created just to upload those 6 videos. But because Callie had been caught with that clip on Twitter weeks earlier, Charlie had to address how they got to YouTube. She couldn't not talk about it now. But of course, she had no idea who uploaded them to the channel, even though we know her and her friends had them before it went public. It was just a lucky coincidence for her that somebody put them there just in time for her to link them to her comeback video. Sure, Jen. Just wanted to add that I think at this point everybody is aware that I have tried multiple times to get Charlie to answer some questions through Twitter, since that's where she seems to spend most of her time. But she has repeatedly maintained that she's not bothered by me and that I do not exist. And so she does not feel the need to answer any of the questions I've posed that I'm now posing in this video. A lot of holes in the story that I wish she would just answer if she had nothing to hide. But of course, while she's not bothered, you can clearly see through the tweets and the pinned chat in the Geek Room, she's obviously been addressing me, just not tagging me. So I'm not sure what the point of that is. But she's since blocked me on Twitter along with everyone I seem to associate with, so it appears she's chosen to retreat into the same echo chamber that Callie moved into some time ago. One more thing. I don't know how long Charlie and some members of her community sat on my personal information. She says she had it for days before giving it to Callie, and as I've mentioned, someone was threatening me with it on May 27th, and I wouldn't be publicly doxxed for another 17 days. All of it is just too much of a coincidence. Her Twitter army will tell you that anyone who visited my Instagram was sitting on my personal information and that I doxed myself. I've said multiple times that I did a piss poor job of blocking out my name. That mistake, however, should not have been an open invitation for Charlie, Callie, and whoever else to go digging through my life so they could download and publish clips I had no intention of ever showing my audience. If Callie hadn't dropped that clip, who knows what else I would have been ambushed with in a video. Thankfully, I've lived a boring life and imagine the video would have been another poorly received hit piece. It's very sad that instead of attempting to defend themselves and my critiques of their community, instead of Charlie addressing why she would ever tweet, like, and retweet blatant lies about me doxing children, hating women, being a racist, being a bigot, etc., they instead chose to dig and see if they could find anything damaging about me in order to deflect from my criticism of their behavior. There's a pattern of behavior with that community. I watched them publish photos of and harass some of my moderators all summer long on Twitter. They went looking into Instagram accounts, Facebook accounts, blogs, anything they could find to harass my supporters. Some of them were publishing first names of my moderators that had nothing to do with their YouTube personas or Twitter accounts. Others downloaded their photos, altered them, and made it their own profile pictures just to mock them. And what was always the excuse? It's all public. There's no boundaries. If they can dig and find something on you, they will, and they'll use it to harass you. But don't you dare tweet out the mugshot Charlie sells on her YouTube store. If you do, you're just slandering a black woman. Give me a break. Just wanted to toss this tweet up showing Charlie firing up her much larger Twitter following with claims that I had been sharing information from her docs, a mugshot. As you just saw, she sells her mugshot on merchandise. She did what some of the other Haydur Nation reaction channels with larger followings on Twitter do. They don't address people directly. They just tweet misleading statements to their much larger audience in order to get them riled up, and then they go back into hiding. I had a moderator who hurt herself because of all of this. I had to kick moderators off my channel because they were becoming so affected by the things that were being tweeted about them, the photos being dug up. One of them was afraid an abusive ex would find her because Haydur Nation went digging into her life and started publicly posting identifying pieces of information about her. I didn't want any of them associated with me anymore. I didn't want to be responsible for someone hurting themselves again, or worse. These people don't troll. They harass and tear people down. And for what? Criticism over YouTube channels. Back to Charlie's tendency of violating her critics' privacy. Here's a tweet from November 2020. Charlie Gold tweeting out a photo of Belinda from Haydur Nation News Network in order to mock her looks. Fine. Trolling. Everyone calls everyone else ugly on the internet. I get it. Making fun of her looks wasn't the problem, though. As you'll see in my next tweet, the photo Charlie used came from Belinda's personal Facebook account. When questioned, she went silent, and here came the trolls to let us know that if Belinda doesn't want people stalking her Facebook page or her other social media, she shouldn't show her name anywhere, and she should lock down her social media accounts. Apparently, her boyfriend should have locked his down as well, because less than 2 months later, this tweet shows up from one of Charlie's biggest fans on Twitter. These photos came from Belinda's boyfriend's Facebook page. A week before this tweet, a Twitter account appeared out of nowhere and tagged me in a photo that would have come from my sister's Facebook page. It's truly unbelievable to see how comfortable Charlie is because she has a larger audience on YouTube and a larger following on Twitter. I was shocked to see the tweet about Belinda is still up. She doesn't care. Her Twitter fan club doesn't seem to either, which is shocking because they'll have a fit over a mugshot or a Kiwi Farms link. Here's Callie back when things like doxing and invading someone's privacy was a bad thing. It's obviously only bad when it's done to them. So the next time someone says, Gaining Ground just likes to gaslight people and all this is because they're black, or he was obviously jealous and wanted more subs, or Charlie just didn't give him enough attention, point them here. Charlie and Callie's race and gender have zero to do with why I dislike them. It's also not about their reactions or how they do them. It's not about anyone's reactions. That's another lie they love to sell to people, that I want people to stop doing reactions. It's not that at all. I spent many lives, many videos telling people to watch who they want. I didn't care. You always tell Foodie Beauty and Amberlynn Reed to look the other way when they're criticized, but you don't do the same.
I'm in a committed relationship, sweetheart. Committed relationships work differently, sweetheart. And also, my relationship, my business. Shane is my man.
I've said before that as long as these Haydur Nation fanatics continue with this defamatory cancellation campaign, I'll continue shining a light on how vile the community has been and continues to be on Twitter. I'll now sit back and wait for the tweets talking about the caucasity of a white man holding two black women responsible for what their followers say. It's always about them being two black women and never about their well-documented patterns of troublesome behavior. This video now exists and it clearly explains my issue with Charlie and Callie. Anyone who wants to continue making this about race or gender is pathetic. I'd also like to once again point to my recent video I made about on-program situation. What's the excuse there? I've been very messy on Twitter, and I own it, but it's usually been in response to seeing heinous tweets about my character. I've also had to see disgusting tweets about my mom's illness, a struggle I chose to share with my audience. I'm not proud of some of the things I've tweeted out in response. I've been very juvenile and have felt badly afterwards, so I'll never understand how some of these Haydur Nation Twitter stan accounts out there can tweet out even worse for months and months and months and be so damn proud of it. You shouldn't be this angry at someone for criticizing a YouTube channel or a YouTube community. How about you let them defend themselves and you just go back to watching their content? So if I have to be held responsible for random interactions with people on Twitter or people saying hello in my live streams, then yeah, they and other channels should be held responsible for their followers making dangerous and defamatory accusations about me and others. They'll probably also scream, "But Negs!" and they'll prove my point. I need to be held responsible for Negs' memes and random unfamiliar numbers in her tweet, even after he apologizes and retracts. But none of them have to be responsible for me being labeled a racist, bigot, alcoholic, and child abuser. It's all being done in their names. I apparently have to take it all and suck it up or get off the internet, but them? As soon as any of them get valid criticism or a meme calling them fats, they either lose it and call everyone racist, bigots, or misogynists, or they block their critics and hide, while their mob defames them in their names. And in between all of that, they're digging into small channels, violating our privacy, and they've convinced their audience that it's okay, because hatred for Foodie Beauty and Amberlynn Reed is what matters most. It's getting old. It's tiring. It's time to stop. Anyway, one last thing before I go. Here's a clip of the Geek Room calling Charlie Gold Fatty Gold, and a screenshot of her stating how it's the best name out there and that she finds it funny. Those of you who know her history with the Fatty Gold channel, those of you who know Haydur Nation's history with the Fatty Gold channel, you all should find this clip shocking, but sadly not surprising. If you don't know about Fatty Gold, ask down below in the comments. I'm sure somebody will enlighten you. Anyway, thanks for watching, and until next time.
That's why I like Charlie. Like I don't know much about Charlie Gold, but that is like super deep.
What did she say?
Like, the Fatty Gold name is the best out there. It's funny, LMAO.